equations of circles. So like I said, this is going to be a very easy thing for us to do on Friday, so let's work together so you guys can finish your homework before you even leave. All right, so the standard equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So I just showed you how that's related to the distance formula. Basically, we're saying that for any center, hk, if I go out a certain distance, and really there's an infinite number of points that are out that same distance away, right? If I do that, I get to a point, x comma y on the edge. And if I relate those points with the distance formula, with their distance equaling r, the radius, you can get that formula. So what are the important pieces of this formula? The center is h comma k, and your radius is r, right? So it says graph each circle using its equation. So if I have x squared plus y squared equals 16, can you guys tell what our center is and what our radius is? Is it in the form? Is it x minus something squared plus y minus something squared equals something squared? What's the something squared to give us 16?
4.
4 squared, right? So can you tell what our center and our radius is when I write it like that? What's the center? 0, 0. That's our h and our k, right? X minus 0, y minus 0. What about the radius? It's 4. Exactly. So on the next one, oh, well, actually, let's graph it. So if I have 0, comma 0 as my center and my radius is 4, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1, 2, 3, 4, and down 1, 2, 3, 4. I used to have this professor in college. His name was Steggy, Dr. Steggy. Stegemuller was his full name, but we call him Steggy. And he actually went to competitions because he was the best circle drawer I have ever seen. So I have tried. Yes, and at the end of class, maybe we can try this. I have tried to master this art of circle drawing for many, many years now, and I just have never mastered it. But Steggy, who was a little bit country, he'd get up there and he'd be like, all right, guys, here we go, here we go, here we go. And so he'd have something like this. And he'd put his finger where the center was, and he'd go, all right, here we go, here we go, here we go. And he would draw the most perfect, I can't do it, but it would be connected, and I don't know how he did it. But so when I draw circles, I'm always like, here we go, here we go, here we go. And that's what I'm thinking of in my head, so now you guys will as well. I know. Oh, Steggy. Steggy was like, imagine like a 6'4", so he's pretty tall, 85-year-old man who was a runner and wore shorty shorts, running shorts to class every day. That was Steggy. He was a legend. All right. So anyway, so what's my center on this next one? He would also do stretches, which I will not do because I'm wearing a dress today, but he put his foot on the table and like stretch. Oh, kills me. All right, here we go. So my center is 0, 4. Now, why did you not say -4, Cassie? You're correct with 4. I'm just teasing it. It is 0, 4. Do you guys see how it's not 0, -4? Because in the equation, it's x minus h, y minus k, right? Sophia, is that what you're going to say? All right, what's my radius? 2. Can we draw that out? So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. From that, we go right 2. We go left 2. We go up 2. We go down 2. And here we go, here we go, here we go. We have this beautiful circle. All right, Max, what do you think on the next one? Radius or center?
1, 3.
Oh, close. -1, 3. Why do you think it's -1? Because it's x minus something, right? So it has to be the opposite sign, basically. X minus a -1 is what we had there. Thank you, Colin. And our radius ends up being 1. Do you think our radii are always that nice? Like, do I always put squares there?
No.
What if I had it all equal to 20? Your radius would be the square root of 20, right? Which isn't necessarily nice, but you could at least reduce it and call it 2 root 5. I say this because I did that on your homework. So what do we have here? I didn't have you graph it, though, right? That would be hard to graph. All right, so -1, 3. Radius of 1, so up 1, left 1, down 1. We got this itty bitty one. Is this the easiest section ever or what? It's pretty easy. All right, 2, find an equation of a circle with radius 9 and center negative 2, 7. So that means that center is our HK and our radius is 9. So if we're plugging in the equation, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we're going to do x minus a negative 2. What do you think I write when I do minus a negative 2? Yeah, I could put parentheses, or I could just write x plus 2, right? Plus y minus 7 squared equals 81. Done. All right, so this next one. Do you guys remember way back when, I mean so long ago, the days of Algebra 1, aka last year. So in Algebra 1, do you guys remember those ones where we gave you like your slope is negative 3 and it passes through a point negative 2, 7? What did you guys do in Algebra 1?
Graph it.
You could graph it and you could try to find the equation. What else could you do? What's the equation for the formula for a line, or what's the formula of a line? Y equals mx plus b, right? So what did we do? We temporarily plugged in that point, x comma y, to find b, and then once we had b, we didn't use those same x comma y's, right? That's what we're going to do in this equation. So we know that our center is hk, right? So we started out and we're like, okay, I got x minus 4 squared. I got my y minus a negative 3, so plus 3 squared. But I don't know r. So it's just like what we did in Algebra 1, where we're like, well, I do know at least know a point on the curve. And that point on the curve, I could plug in for x and y, right? Does that make sense? Here is geometrically what we're doing. We're saying we have a center. You don't have to draw this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, negative 3. And we have a point that's at 2, 1. And we're saying it's along the edge of the circle. So what are we doing? We're finding the distance between those 2 points. Well, isn't that what the equation of a circle is anyway? It's the distance formula in disguise, but it is. So we're going to plug in for x and y just for a sec, temporarily. So we're going to plug in 2 for x and 1 for y. So I get negative 2 squared plus 4 squared equals r squared. So I have 4 plus 16 equals r squared. So r squared is 20. And I'm going to be sneaky because I've done this many, many times. Where like you get in the groove and you're like, oh, what's r equal to? R is going to be 2 root 5. But what do I need in the equation anyway? Like when I plug it back into the equation, r squared, isn't it just r squared anyway? Why am I going to go a step further and take the square root of that and be like, oh, square root of 20 is 2 root 5, and then go back in and square it, right? Stop here. Especially when you get things like 1,131, right? You don't want to do that. So stop here and plug in, right? So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Well, r squared is 20. So we were plugging in r squared anyway. Make sense? All right. You really want to do that circle competition, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go. So the equation of a circle is x minus 13 squared plus y minus 6 squared equals 9. Decide if the following are inside, outside, or on the circle. So you could do a lot of things here. You could sketch the circle, right? And as long as you have a decent sketch, you could probably figure out if it's inside, outside, or on the circle. Right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to plug it in. So let's plug in 5, 6. If I plug in 5 and 6, I want to see if I get equal to 9. Okay, 5 minus 13, negative 8 squared. Charlie, you with me?
64.
Plus 0, is that equal to 9?
No.
No. You know what we just determined? We said that between that center of the circle, which was 13, 13, 6, right, that was our center, 13, 6. If I'm trying to go to 5, 6, the distance between them is not 9, it's 64. Well, the distance squared, I guess I shouldn't say. The distance isn't 3, it's actually 8. Right? So the distance, if it's bigger than 3, so if this distance was 3, and I go out further, is it inside, outside, or on the circle?
Outside.
It's outside, right? It's too big. So the radius is too big. All right, how about the 14, 8? So we plug it in. We're like 14 minus 13 squared plus 8 minus 6 squared. I want to see if that's equal to, so question mark 9. Is it? 1 plus 2 squared is 4. Is that equal to 9? No. Is it bigger or smaller than 9? Smaller, so it's inside. I'm going to guess the next one's probably on the circle because I'm sneaky like that. Although on your homework, on the one where I had you guys check with Pythagorean theorem, I did do 2 that didn't work. Did you guys notice that? I was like, why did I do that? I should have made 1 work. All right, so anyway, so I have 20 minus 13 squared plus 9 minus 6 squared. I want to see if it's equal to 9. Ooh, I don't think it's going to be. So mean, huh? So 7 squared is 49 plus, I already know I'm too big. I could just stop there. 3 squared is 9. Is that equal to 9? No, 58 is not equal to 9.
Outside.
It's outside. I agree.
Is that the finishing of chapter 9? Is that it?
Well, we're not totally done with chapter 9. We just skipped around because that's such an easy section. Do you guys like that section for Friday?
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
I just thought with your grandparents here today, you were just a little brain dead maybe.